Okay, today we are playing a game on Dorado. We are in the gold SR range, and we will be playing Reinhardt the entire way through. But first, I'm gonna make you look at this fucking picture that someone drew for me. Look at that. Look at that. I'm a big fan of the look on the boy's face. He's sitting over there right now looking at me, and he's got that exact expression on his face. It very much captures his energy. I like it a lot. It brings me tremendous joy. Thank you very much. Much love. Now, let's start the game. So, attacking first, we've got, this is a fairly old video at this point. I believe this was pre-Roadhog nerf? I suppose I could look. I have the email up. I can get you the rough timeline on this one. Let's see. Yes, this would have been pre-nerf Roadhog. But he should have been buffed at this. Whatever, it's irrelevant. We're playing the video game. We pinned that boy. He's fucking dead. Reinhardt players, you know, they really upset me. This is not something we did. I just want to complain about this anyway. I swear to God that 9 out of 10 Reinhardts would rather get pinned than just countercharge. And if you ask them why they decide to get pinned instead, they'll say something to the effect of, well, I didn't want to get stunned in front of the enemy team. I understand that, but consider that if you get pinned, you take 300 damage and are also still stunned for the duration of the pin. But if you countercharge him, you are just stunned in front of the enemy team, as opposed to stunned and taking 300 damage, which is most of your health, actually. Technically, 205, because of armor. But, man, Reinhardt players, they really upset me. They really upset me. Just... Anyway, so we got through the choke point. That's the hardest part of the map. To be honest with you. We tried to pin the Roadhog, we missed. If we pinned the Roadhog, it would have all been good. Tragically, we missed. So, we've almost got Earth Shatter built up. We're a little brave to go for the Fire Strike right there, given we were like half health in front of the Roadhog and the Reinhardt, but it's all good. They're mostly dead at this point. We're pretty much done with this checkpoint anyway. This a very key example, or a very obvious example of their Rein basically throwing the first checkpoint by dying, because it all cascaded off of Reinhardt just dying like a bitch within the first few minutes of the fight, really, or the first few seconds of the fight, rather. Yeah, and that's why you don't really want to stand outside of the choke point too much either. He had a long way to go to get back to safety as well. So, we've got Earth Shatter built up. Didn't need to use Fire Strike. I should point this out. We got Earth Shatter built up. That means we don't want to use Fire Strike now, because it's not doing anything to generate Assault Charge. We want to save Fire Strike now for more specific uses, which is basically we think is going to kill somebody. I do it, I still do it, but it's something that we all need to fight against, the desire to Fire Strike when you have Earth Shatter built up already. So, their Moira's using Coalescence. Here's a thing for you if you're playing Reinhardt, right? And your Moira starts using Coalescence behind you, do not take your shield down. I know you want to, but if you think that Reinhardt's got Earth Shatter, it's coming. Because when you're playing Reinhardt and you see Moira using Coalescence, you'll fucking do anything to ult that hoe. You'll do anything to Earth Shatter her. So, just be real extra careful about taking your shield down when Moira's ulting behind you. Because, yeah, it's usually pretty bad. It's usually pretty bad for the Moira. I wonder if Moira was nerfed in this patch. I think she would have been nerfed in this game. Yeah, I think so. Man, I don't know about time. Time's an abstract concept that I don't know anything about. So their Rein's got Earth Shatter at this point. We have, like, fucked him pretty hard during this game. Oh. I don't even know what button I pushed that did that. But it It sure did do it. That's okay. That's fine. We weren't that far in yet. I think I went too far. Yes, there we go. So we've been fucking that Reinhardt pretty hard so far, but it's been a while. He's got Earth Shatter by this point, so we have to be careful of that. We're halfway towards ours again, so that's going pretty good, you know. We've got a lot of ults coming up in general. The only one we're not really close to having is Primal Rage, but who gives a fuck about Primal Rage? Am I right? Am I right? Winston players don't give a fuck about Primal Rage. Primal Rage is good. Like, what do you think the worst ult in the game is, right? Barrage is obviously in top contention for it, but I personally want to put forward Primal Rage as being perhaps the worst ult in the entire game, because it is basically like Winston goes, here you go, chief, have an ultimate. You know, like, you feed massive resources to the enemy team when you use Primal Rage as Winston. For very little payoff, like, it makes a lot of situations worse. Like, if you're nano boosted as Winston and you use Primal Rage, that's like the worst use of resources ever. Primal Rage is just dreadful. Barrage is also very bad, of course. They did buff it, so that's cool. But, like, we all know that Barrage is still bad. It's a good thing that Pharah herself is a really good hero, right? Like, Pharah is a good hero. Barrage is a very bad ultimate. It's very rare that you have a character that's still good when they have a bad ultimate. You know, they need a really good thing to counteract that. And Pharah, it turns out, is just like pretty, you know, you just fucking slap the enemy team real good, and the enemy team, they can't click on you good, so that you fucking kill them. Winston just throwing himself in there, just a good old hard feed on him right there. Bob's in, we've got the Matrix up in front of us. We're of course waiting to try and fire strike somebody. We did not block the Earth Shatter. Deadeye apparently also happened. When did that happen? Oh, it was right then. Yes, that would make sense. And their Pharah's behind us. I don't like fire striking the Pharah. I'd rather just, like, try and fire strike anything else. Pharah's hard to fire strike. We can't know Moira is there, but we were, like, looking, like, right at her, like we fucking knew anyway. So she's using Coalescence. I would have been tempted to ult her. It would be the wrong play. I'll be upfront with you about that. It would have been incorrect, but I would have been tempted. So we're real low right now. Gotta be careful. We got Earth Shatter built up. We're thinking about it. I've done this strat before. I'm familiar with this one, where you, like, sit behind the payload and you wait because Earth Shatter goes under the payload, and you just look to see when their Ryan takes his shield down, because you know he's not, like, you're standing behind the payload. Object permanence? Don't know what that is, ma'am. They fucking just forget you're there the second you're out of sight, and you slip the Earth Shatter in. Oh, he actually countercharged it. Good job, that boy. So we did Earth Shatter them, and it was good. You know, we got the two boys who were real far up. They fucking died, and the Earth Shatter doesn't need to be 6 people every time. If you kill 2 people real good, that's a good use of an ultimate. Sometimes if you kill 1 person real good, that's a good use of an ultimate, even if it's traditionally a team wipe ultimate. Like, if like a Zarya uses Grav on 1 person, you're like, what the fuck are you doing, Zarya? But if she uses that Grav on the nano-boosted Genji using Dragon Blade, everybody goes, yes, queen, you've saved the backline from being murdered. Sometimes just ulting that 1 boy is good enough, you know? Even if it's a team wipe ultimate, usually. So, their Rhine, oh, he's not even close to having Earth Shatter, but now he's pretty close to having Earth Shatter built up again. I was like, he's at like 30%, but hey, you get like 1 good smack in there and suddenly you charge it all the way back up again, you know? Because I was like, he's gotta be close again by now. He's nowhere even remotely close to it yet. What a disaster. Oh, she got hooked. I went back to see why Anna died, because I just knew she died, and I didn't know why. She got hooked. Very unfortunate for her. So we're real low right now. who's the other healer? Baptiste. Yeah, it's just like, you know, I was like, yeah, we've been back here low for a while at this point. Oh, she's going in. Alright, so they're telling us no right now, essentially. Like, we've just been told no quite firmly. Roadhog ult. You know, Whole Hog, not exactly an incredible ultimate, but is a very good disengage ultimate. Almost good enough to be considered a defensive ultimate, to be honest. Like, it achieves roughly the same thing a lot of the time. Obviously, it won't save you from, like, a grab, usually. Sometimes it actually still will. But, like, Whole Hog, pretty good defensive ultimate, to be honest. Pretty good. So we've got Earth Shatter built up. Ryan's pretty close to having his. I mean, by close to having it, I mean he literally has it right now. So we have to be, you know, concerned about this. Hopefully we've been keeping track. You know, it's been a while since we saw it, so that's usually enough indication. I don't like that. That's an ult that's basically just saying I'm gonna get Roadhog, and if I get anything else, it's a bonus, really, you know? Because, like, yeah, we're gonna get that boy, but, like, there's very little reason for Reinhardt to take his shield down right now. We might have been trying to get the Lucio as well, but nah, Earth Shatter's not that good at getting people that far apart. Not that close, anyway. The cone at the start is so narrow, it's very upsetting. You ever had that where you're, like, ult, like, right on top of the guy? You're, like, right next to the enemy Reinhardt, you try to Earth Shatter him and everybody else, but he's, like, right on top of you, and you're just 1 pixel to the left, so it completely skates past him, because you've got, like, a 1-foot cone to work with right at the start. Really upsetting. Anyway, so, that was just a very hopeful Earth Shatter, which is, generally not a good use of resources. You don't really want to use anything just kind of hoping it works out. Oh, we could have tried to kill her right there. She was in a position where we could have tried to kill her with our shield. Because she dropped down real close. If we, like, hop up at her, like, go up, hop up at her, we probably kill her with our shield. We would have to do it pretty quickly, of course. She'll, like, barrage breaks your shield pretty quickly. But we were close enough to her, and she was real low, that we could have probably killed her with our shield, or at least gotten her really fucking low, if not outright killing her. Didn't really need to go for the pin on this guy, because he's already in such a bad position that we could just fire strike and bonk him, and, like, he's pretty much dead at that point anyway. So we don't really know to go for the pin. The pin just has more margin of error, you know? Because if you go up and smack the guy, it's really hard to miss him. But pin can always miss. McCree is right there, so that was a very optimistic pin to go for as well when there's hard crowd control right next to the guy. Because we had to go pretty far with him as well. Like, that wasn't going to be an immediate pin result. We needed to go, like, get to the wall on that one. So 2 charges that I didn't really like doing. The first one was, like, kind of justified because of the position he was in, but, like, I'd rather just start slapping him because, like, he's right there. You know, he's right there. Or at least, like, lean into the curve a little bit more so it's really hard to, like, overshoot, if nothing else. So we got Earth Shatter built up. We did have it sooner than that, right? Because there's a difference of, like, half a second. Yeah, we had it, like, right away. Granted, like, it's kind of a clusterfucky situation, but just a half-second hesitation ends up leading to the Earth Shatter whiffing. And this is a really bad time for it to whiff, of course, because this is the last fight that we're getting. We got him that time. He couldn't really do much about that one. He just got knocked up by Bob. Alright, so we retreat back to the lamp, the safety of the lamp, the safety of Bob. Bob would never let harm come to us. Thank God Bob's in the game. You know, he's like the only team member you can, like, definitely rely on, isn't he? Thank God Bob's in the game. I don't know what we'd do otherwise. So we got to the end, and that's a fantastic result. Dorado, quite a hard map to capture all 3 checkpoints on. For all checkpoints, like, it's a pretty well-balanced map, to be honest. Like, it's probably one of the better balanced maps, because you can feasibly win on any of the checkpoints, but it is really hard to capture all 3 checkpoints. You know, I like, traditional wisdom goes that Kings Row and Hollywood are the two most well-balanced maps in the game. Be honest with you, I like Dorado more than Hollywood. Kings Row, it's pretty good. You know, Kings Row's pretty good. I think I'd rather play on Dorado than Hollywood most of the time. Mostly just because I really fucking hate the street phase on Hollywood. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You hate the street phase on Hollywood. It's fucking terrible. I hate that part. And then you've got, like, Hollywood's, the third checkpoint has, like, the Route 66 problem, right? The reason I don't like playing on Route 66 is the third checkpoint is an absolute fucking nightmare. Hollywood is a very similar setup to Route 66. It's not as bad as Route 66, but I dislike it for the same reasons I dislike Route 66's third checkpoint. And Hollywood's second checkpoint, oh my god, I fucking hate the streets. I fucking hate the streets, dude. I'd rather play on Dorado any day of the week, so we let our shield break there. I paused because I was going to point that out, but I was following this really long, rambling train of thought, which is basically all I do. We let our shield break. Don't let your shield break. Real bad. Don't want your shield to go on cooldown, or to break, because then it goes on cooldown and you don't have access to it. And we don't want to ever, like, be restricted access to the shield, you know? Because even a 1 health shield will block an entire Earth Shatter or an entire self-destruct. So, shield's getting pretty low now. The scary thing about this is just that, like, he hasn't had to use his shield at all. But fortunately, we have better... the way he's coming at us, we've got a lot of cover to use, so the extra shield health isn't super important, because we can use the payload and the walls around us. So we pin the boy. Ooh, in the lava. Oof. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Feels bad, man. Didn't need to use Fire Strike there. We already have Earth Shatter built up. Just, like, anytime you use Fire Strike when you got Earth Shatter up, be upset with yourself about it. You know, I always am, and yet I still do it. I still do. I've played this game for fucking thousands of hours, and I'm still Fire Striking in full ult charge, and I'm like, damage. And it didn't do anything. The damage did nothing, but it made me feel good because I heard the hit marker tick, and that gave me a big dopamine kick, and it felt real nice. That was an extremely optimistic charge. Obviously, it went bad for a reason we couldn't really have foreseen coming, which was that big boop. But that was a really optimistic charge. It's very hard to pin Moira while she's using Coalescence. I wouldn't even bother going for it. Again, Fire Striking at full charge. Don't do that. Oh, she's going. Fuck. Yeah, might as well Fire Strike that. Yeah, like, the grav wasn't that good anyway, and it was in a position that was like, I'm not going out there. So I wouldn't have done anything really about that either. Not a good use of grav from the Zarya there. Do they not have a Reinhardt anymore? They do. Why have I not? Where is he? Where's their... Oh, here he comes. Okay. I was, like, starting to get real paranoid. I was like, is he behind us somehow? I felt like I hadn't seen him in a really long time. Yeah, so we Earth Shattered the 3 boys while they're out in the open. We killed both their supports. That's their push dead. Easy. Anytime you can get, like, the main healer with Earth Shatter, fucking incredible result. And if you can get both the healers, oh my god, it's like every Christmas came at once. So their Rein's gotta have Earth Shatter at this point. We, of course, know he does, but in-game, we get, like, he's gotta. Like, it's been fucking 3 minutes. Already, it's been 3 minutes. How time flies when you're winning. Anyway, so he's gotta have it by this point. So we gotta be afraid of that. Yeah, so Rein just Earth Shattered behind us, which is my concern about doing exactly what we did right there. I understand why we did it. We don't want Roadhog just running around, like, bullying around our Bastion, but we have, like, the whole team to worry about right now. So while it is unfortunate that Bastion is getting chased by Roadhog, we can't really go to help him at that moment in time because Earth Shatter is a much more pressing concern. If Bastion dies, Bastion dies. If Reinhardt Earth Shatters our entire team dies. So that's gotta take precedent over the Bastion right there. Unfortunate situation, but, like, this is the thing as well when you're playing a main tank. If you're gonna leave the front line, you need a really good reason to do so, because you immediately start conceding huge amounts of ground when you leave the front line as the main tank. So you have to be really careful when you go away from that in general. But when you're playing against another Reinhardt as Reinhardt, you got the ult to consider. You're the only one probably on your team that can really do much about it. You know, you got maybe the Zarya, of course, but she's not going to reliably block the Earth Shatter, right? Even though, if I'm being honest with you, I feel like I've had my Earth Shatter blocked by more Zaryas than Reinhardts. But I think that's more an indictment of Reinhardt players rather than a glowing review of Zarya players. Anyway, we've almost got our Earth Shatter built up again. We've also almost got Graph built up, so we'll see. We might not need to use it in the next team fight, depending on how it goes, right? Zarya's used her ultimate. We're just gonna pin their Reinhardt out of the way, take the shield out of the grab. We get nano boosted while we're going in, even better result. Moira did just walk past us right there. I'm not sure we saw her just like slide past us, but we might have been able to kill her if we just like turned and gave her a bonk as she ran away. I'm not sure if she faded behind us or not, but she did like walk past us. Well, the video is having an issue. That's probably just because I had trouble loading it more than anything else. I've suddenly become very paranoid that I'm gonna run out of space mid-recording, which will make me very upset. No, there's like no way. Surely. I'm gonna refresh that real quick. No, there's no, I got 80 gigs right now. That should be good enough. If this one recording takes up 80 gigabytes, I'd be really fucking upset. Video recording do be like that, though. Don't fire strike when you got Earth Shatter built up. It's amazing how much space these things take up. I got a terabyte hard drive. It's not enough. It's not enough. I need like a fucking zettabyte hard drive or something, I feel like. So, oh, we got the Zarya. We got the Pharah as well. Excellent result. So, be careful going for the pin in that kind of position. I'd much rather just keep swinging into them, because both these boys will die. The concern is mostly probably just Pharah gets away, but like bumping Zenyatta like that could end up saving him. He died anyway. Bolt, bolt, bolt got on the case. Great job, bolt, bolt, bolt. But if you pin, like, whenever there's, like, multiple people on the ground from the Earth Shatter, it's usually better to just swing into them, because the pin has the risk of just sending them away to safety. Now, sometimes you really want that motherfucker to die. Sometimes there's a motherfucker in that pile of people that you want dead with extreme prejudice. Basically anybody that's still got an ultimate going when they get up, right? Like a nano-boosted guy, you're more concerned about just getting him, right? But like, if it's just kinda a bunch of squishy people all together, you're gonna be better off swinging into them most of the time. And then you try and pin like the tank if you can, but again, you gotta consider like, am I gonna scatter all of the squishy people after I do this? This is admittedly less of a concern ever since they reduced the stun timer on Earth Shatter, but it is still a consideration to be made. You know, what am I gonna do to the rest of the people that I don't pin in there? So anyway, a lot of them are dead right now. Respect a single one trick, not the best I know. Okay. I didn't catch what the other messages for that one were about. Maybe I missed some context, so I'm mostly like, what the fuck are you talking about, brother? There, Ryan just used Earth Shatter. Though, like, those boys were so far up that we can fully just, like, disregard our personal fault for that one. The guys that got Earth Shattered were, oh, holy shit. That became so violent so quickly. Just like, alright, I'm gonna fight the boys. I'm gonna Earth Shatter the boys. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah. That's just, like, we pushed Q at pretty much the same time they both pushed Q. Unfortunate timing more than anything else. Like, so, the guys that got Earth Shattered were so far up that I hold no guilt to us. I hold us in no way culpable for what happened to them. They got Earth Shattered because they were too far up. Shouldn't have been so fucking far up, should ya? Fucking dumbass. So I'm not gonna blame any of us for that. Anyway, 5.6k hours as Diva? Big ups to my man that's got 5.6k hours on fucking Diva. They know what they're about. Holy shit. Big ups. So we got nano boosted and we started swinging. Unfortunately, they do have a Zenyatta, So Nano Boost ends up not being the massive buffer we thought it was, especially with a Roadhog nearby, this being pre-nerf Roadhog, of course. So, we ended up taking a lot more damage than we expected in that, probably. Not the end of the world. We still got the last checkpoint to go through. They only got a minute, and this checkpoint's really hard to capture if you lose momentum. So if we win this upcoming fight, things are looking really good for us. They're looking really good for us, because that's just how Dorado goes, you know? So, unfortunately, we're quite far away from Earthshatter still. We're pretty even with their guy right now. Okay, I stopped because I thought I heard, like, Roadhog right next to me for some reason. But, like, no, I'm just crazy. So, we're getting in there. We wanted to try and pin the Reinhardt out of the way, but we got hooked. What can you do? It's okay, it was still good enough. Like, they're still gravitoned, you know? Like, they're still gravitoned, and we got a lot of AoE damage. It's still gonna be good enough anyway. So, we've got Earthshatter built up. Here's our big chance, because they're going to be rushing in to touch this point in the next 20 seconds. So here's our big moment to try and win the game ourselves with this Earthshatter. Here it comes. They are pretty close to having a lot of ultimates, but they don't have them right now. This is an instance where I'll say that if we Earthshatter Zenyatta specifically, we should very strongly consider pinning him, regardless of the rest of the circumstances of the Earthshatter. Because right now, we should know that their Zen has to be getting close to his trance again. It's been a little while since he used trance. A full team fight two full team fights actually happened since he last used trance. And, like, that's going to be the big turnaround on the fight, right? And we, of course, get to know he's at 97% because we can see it in game. But he has to be close. So this is a circumstance where, pretty much regardless of the rest of the circumstance of the Earthshatter, if I can pin Zen, I will pin him to make sure he can't use Transcendence in this fight, because that's the way that they would turn that back around, most likely. So we did pin Zen, or Earthshatter Zen, but we didn't pin Zen. We pinned Roadhog. Could we have pinned Zen from the position we were in? It was a little bit of a mess. Yes. If we, like, walk through Roadhog, we could have tried to get to him. But it wasn't ideal, because we didn't get Roadhog, and then Roadhog, like, stepped in front of the Zenyatta, so that was gonna make it difficult pretty much regardless to actually pin the guy from that position, because Ryan was also in the way on the left-hand side. I'm not sure we were considering that to begin with, but we should have been considering it for that team fight. So anyway, coming back out, it's time to try and stall the fight. That's not a good position to be stalling from. Roadhog's, like, right next to us going, while Reaper's spinning right in front of us. Not ideal circumstances. Could have been better. And it's alright. It's okay. Both teams get 1 minute. It's alright. We got the Torbjorn. We can't possibly fail with a Torbjorn on our team. He's just too powerful. He's just too powerful. So, let's see if their Ryan does a big overextend again and we're able to pin him and kill him really early on in the game. That'd be just fucking fantastic. We're looking around, like, right now, I think, like, what's hurting us, but it's their Forest, so there's not much we can do about that. Their road just died. Great news for us. We did lose our Zarya, so we're pretty much even right now. Yeah, we just took a big chunk of damage, because they've got Discord Orb. They've got Discord Orb on us, so we need to be real careful when we take that shield down. It's quite difficult to play around Discord Orb as Reinhardt, because you don't really often get the luxury of just going out of line of sight to wait for Discord Orb to go off of you. So, you have to do a lot of just, like, hitting and then immediately putting the shield up again, pretty much, to try and block the range damage. You're not gonna block the Reinhardt's damage, of course, but you can block the rest of the damage, and most of it will really be coming from their DPS getting shots into you on the Discord Orb. So we use the Earthshatter right there. I'm mostly okay with it, just because we're trying to get any ground we can get right now, really. And if we can capture the first checkpoint for Dorado, that's fantastic when the enemy team's only got 1 minute. So I'm pretty much okay with that, even though, like, We probably didn't need to use it to capture this checkpoint. In this circumstance, it's probably worth using it just to make sure we capture the first checkpoint, because that's such a big get on Dorado when both teams only get a minute to attack. So, they of course now have to regroup, so we get a bunch of extra free time. That was terrible. That was an awful Earth Shadow. We just wave at him, which is the exact appropriate, I'm sorry I banged the table, the exact appropriate response for that kind of massive whiff. That pin was a pretty bad whiff as well, of course. Probably don't need to point that one out. But he just whiffed Earth Shatter, so it's not like we have to worry about not being there to block that. Am I right? Now, Bob's there, and that's scary, so we're hiding from Bob right now. Understandable. Someone wasn't hiding from Bob and just got shot at by Bob. Shot at by Bob is what I was gonna say. So, Emp, fantastic, gains us a little bit more ground, even if we don't win this team fight. Hey, fucking we're there. Like, this is a fantastic result for Dorado. The cool thing about this circumstance as well is that you know every meter you get in overtime like this, the enemy team is just getting, their tilt increases by like 20% for every meter you get. Like, their tilt starts stacking up fucking fast in overtime like this. And then, oh fuck, I gotta stop them, so they start rushing in. That was a good time to Earth Shatter, but we whiffed the execution on it, because of course if we got Mercy and Roadhog, or Mercy and Moira, that's good. But we only got the one out of the probably 3 people we were trying to get, so that's the unfortunate part. That was a good time to do it, we just messed up the execution and only got 1 person. It do be like that sometimes. So we're going for the Bastion play. A classic, of course, especially when you only have a minute on the enemy team's clock. If you can get them with 1 solid Bastion, well, they're fucking done, aren't they? It's all fucking over for them. We didn't let it break. 20 health is very close to maximum efficiency. Just 19 points off. I don't know if we actually saw Reaper right there. It would have been very hard to see him from that faint glimpse. So they just lost 2 people. Fantastic. We lost Anna. It's okay. The other healer's Moira. It's not like we're left with a Zenyatta right now. So we should just go fight with them right now. Because I get it. We're sitting back here because there's a Bastion. But, like, half their team's dead. And they're, like, fighting the other half of the team. We should really just go and, like, start trying to slap the Reinhardt. Because if we kill him right there, it's great as well. Of course, we're trying to protect the Bastion, you know, do the classic. But I'd rather just go and start slapping at that point. So we just lost 2 people. Terrible result. Their Reaper's dead, thank goodness. That was like the scariest part of their team to me. Their Roadhog actually managed to kill Anna past us right then. That's honestly quite impressive. I'm not even mad, because I feel like he earned it from that position. Because I didn't even see him kill Anna. I only know because I saw it in the kill feed. He just, like, slipped right past us. Now, they got the first checkpoint. No need to panic. We're about to have Earth Shatter. We only gotta push him off. We only gotta land that 1 Earth Shatter. Now, Junkrat just died. Bad, of course. There's no need to panic. The worst thing that could happen right now is people start panicking and going in 1 by 1, which is clearly what they're having to fight very hard to stop from happening as their gut instinct right now. Like, D.Va and Moira clearly want to just go in there and touch it right now. But we, of course, have to try and maintain self-control. So we, too late to do it, and the angle isn't great for the attempt either, but pinning Ryan right there would have, you know, been pretty good. It would have been a pretty big get. So we use Earth Shatter, but the Roadhog's got whole hog, so we don't actually get to do anything with that, unfortunately. Moira's in. Yeah, so at this point, there's just, like, a lot of people are getting picked off. It's making it very hard for us to get this 1 solid team fight in here that we actually need right now. Oh, we got him. Oh, we did get the nano boost damage in as well. I feel like we should have got hit by that, but we didn't. Oop, 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 video's falling apart. Oh, yeah, we were too far to the left-hand side. I see. Alright, so we land the Earth Shatter. We don't have our pin, so we can't, like, just try and push him off right there, which is, you know, the cool thing to do in overtime, is just push him off with the pin. Oh, Reaper spinning. Alright, Reaper didn't kill that many people. This is probably good enough. We just gotta get the one guy off the payload. Roadhog's gonna be coming back soon. And, Roadhog's gonna be... Oh, Roadhog's already back. Roadhog's the inconvenient one to kill. We're getting, the run around by the Lucio right now. You know how it is. Alright, he's dead. Alright, we did it. That's okay. We did it. So I don't really think I have an overarching thing to say about that. I don't want to leave it on the black screen, because then the green screen behind me gets very upset. It's already upset, because it's just not a very good green screen. I don't really have an overarching thing to say. The biggest thing would be, like, don't fire strike with full charge. There were a few whiffed charges in there as well. Some shield management stuff, but I don't really have an overarching thing to say for that game, to be honest. This is the thing with the longer games, though, is I tend to have trouble recollecting everything that happened, so at the end I'm just like, yeah, we did good. We did it. We sure played some video games right there, didn't we? I have a very short-term memory, especially trying to maintain this stream of consciousness the entire way through it, because if I ever stop talking for more than 5 seconds, I'll be extremely upset about it, basically. Because, you know, that's the thing. I complain about this, like, pretty frequently, but, like, the thing that upsets me with other people doing similar content is you'll watch them, right? And they're so busy trying to be professional that you end up watching a lot of... I shouldn't have done that there. Yeah, you see, you could have hit the guy right there if you clicked on him. You end up watching a lot of that, which is not entertaining, you know? It's hard to be educational when or it's hard to be educated when the person trying to educate you is a phenomenally unengaging person. You know what I mean? Anyway, I complain about that constantly, but you know, whatever. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join Discord, ask questions more directly, and have a conversation about them. Or just post with us. Live stream on Twitch Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 p.m. EST to 11 EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. If you managed to make it all the way through the video and still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.